What did I do? Okay, you know what? Welcome back to CatYap. Here we are again. Um, I took a little break, at least like from socials. You know, it's been a June was a month for sure. Definitely a roller coaster of all time. But we're back. I have a few things that I want to talk about. I'm so sorry. So sorry I had to use my human hand for a second. But there's been a few things on my mind lately. The first of which, all my friends hate me and want me to die. Okay, like in a car fire going 85 miles on I 95, possibly, perhaps. But in reality, everyone wants AX again. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone wants AX again. It was definitely a FOMO weekend, a FOMO week. I think at the moment, everyone is actually coming back from the trip now. I hope them all a safe return. But, no buts. No, whoa, 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 whoa. No but to that. But to the, I don't know. My mental has been in the dumps. Okay, it's nothing personal against anyone. Okay, I'm really happy for everyone. I'm really glad everyone gets to bond. You know, I think there was a bit. I don't know if it's a much bigger group, but like definitely new faces this time. I.e., my son. My son went to AX with my best friends this year, and that's okay. It's not like I ever want to meet my friends or anything, but it's okay. I'm saying but too much. It's been too long since I yapped. It definitely takes me like a minute to like get back into the groove, get back into the flow of things. I say that, but I've only done this 3 times. This only has 4 fingers, so it really threw me off. It really threw me off trying to count -1. But yeah, all my friends went to AX this year. I kind of mental boomed with FOMO, and I was like, "Is that a new something new has been placed on my desk that I didn't recognize?" But anyways, everyone went to AX this year once again, and I get FOMO, but I'm really torn because obviously I would want to go. I would love to meet everyone, right? But there's also like my financial situation. It's not the best. Okay, it's not the best. It's not terrible. Like if I budgeted for it, I definitely could plan it out within like 6 months, right? But there's also then like this voice in my head telling me like I meet these people in person, they're gonna realize I don't act the same online as I do in person, and that actually I'm kind of a freak, and that actually I'm kind of a loser. And in turn, everyone is going to end up blocking me on everything, all right? And then they're gonna kick me out of my own Discord server, right? And then they're actually gonna disband that server and make their own server that I somehow have access to just to like watch them like from a window, but it's like locked, and it's raining outside, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at Jess, the fucking loser," and I'm like, guys, but I thought we were cool, you know. But yes, I'm definitely. I keep saying but every time I say but, take a shot, I guess. And I need to stop using filler words. I'll work on that. I'll try my best. Anyways, oh, wait, I said anyway. Fuck. Moving on. Holy shit. I don't know why I feel like I definitely act differently online, but like I think everyone does, you know? The sense of not like judgment free, but it's a lot harder for people to judge you and have an impact on you, like online. And obviously like everyone I interact with online, like we have common interests, common hobbies and all that kind of stuff. But take a shot. it's a lot different in person because in person, like I kind of freeze up, I kind of choke on everything, and like I don't really express myself like at all. I mean, I like to dress up. Okay, that's the only expressive thing, but like I'm kind of like a statue. I'll twiddle my own thumbs. I'll walk around like recently I've been going a lot I've been going out a lot with my friends Izzy and Hope. You know, they've been taking me around to see the town, the city, because I've lived here for 2 years and I haven't done anything. You know, I haven't interacted with anyone. I haven't made new friends. This was the first past couple of months that I've made new friends, but it was just work. So it's not like actual friends, but it's like they know me from work, so they kind of have to keep texting me back, or else it's like super awkward. You know what I mean? So Izzy and Hope, not from work. Izzy, longtime online friend who I only met actually a couple months ago in person. Only first met up with her for the first time in a decade, and her best friend Hope is the only one out of the three of us that can drive at the moment. Izzy doesn't have a car, and I don't have a license or a car, but it's okay. We don't need to talk about that right now. That's for another time, right? And I'm noticing a lot that when I'm out with them, I'm definitely just like in spectator mode. You know, I don't talk much, and I think it's just something I need to get more comfortable with, especially with like Hope. You know, Hope is a new person in my life. You know, it's a new character that I haven't quite unlocked all of the nooks and grannies of. You know, if you know what I mean. Like, can I get comfortable with her? You see what I mean? And especially with Izzy, like I've known her for a decade, right? I've talked to her on and off for how many years, you know? I've always known her. I've always known her personality, but everything just feels so much different in person, you know? I'm just so scared of being judged. And I think that's the biggest fear of meeting any of my online friends is they're going to judge me in a different way that they see me online, you know. In a perfect world, I would still be loud and outgoing, have so much confidence trotting around whatever anime expo or whatever convention, or even not even a convention. I know Chumi, one of my closest online friends, she's offered to like, hey, you would I'll fucking fly out to see you. You know, I want to meet you, or if you need a place to stay in LA for any reason, you know, you just come over. I'm like, it's tough. It's tough for sure, especially because I've only ever had friends online. You know, I've never had many IRL relationships that aren't from work. You know, like after high school, like where do people even meet each other? Like obviously there's college, but like that's also like in the same ballpark, you know, it's just your acquaintances. But like where do adults even talk to each other? Right? One of my coworkers, they took me to a brewery, and I was kind of shook because I'm like, these guys are like the people there were just middle aged and they were just talking to each other. I'm like, holy shit, is this just where people like interact? But I'm also seeing the other side. My other coworker is very much a partyoer, like every weekend, you know. And then I'm thinking people my age are. Is that where everyone's going? Is that where people are interacting? Is just fucking parties? But like, how do you even like how do you show up? You know, what's that one Adele song? You know, just, I don't know why that popped up in my head. You know, Adele's on my mind. But yeah, I really want to go to AX. Even not AX, I want to meet my friends, and I'm hoping maybe something like this. You know, learning to be my genuine self without fear of judgment. Doing like this right now, this is already a big step for me because like this one, you know, this one's I can probably send public. I don't have anything on this list that is like super personal or anything. So I'm fine with this going public. I'll fucking upload it, whatever. And so I'm working on it. I'm working on being more genuine to people and more genuine to myself because maybe I'm not truly always loud, outgoing, confident. But like no one ever is, you know? I've only built that identity because streaming, content creation, etc., you know? Because doing that kind of hobby career, you definitely have to play into a character. When you're putting yourself out there, you definitely have to play into a character. And I think I've sort of just like lost myself in that character for a little bit. For a little while. I felt that way, you know? Um so yeah. But during that AX time that all my friends were gone, I took a little break from Discord because I was, fucking mental booming, getting hella FOMO. So I didn't want to rain on anyone's parade. That is a saying I believe is true, is real. That's definitely real, right? Anyways, I didn't want to be a party pooper. So I kind of took a step back. I let everyone enjoy their thing, okay? And I spent a lot of alone time, you know? And I did reach out to a lot of family. I did like I'm sorry, it sounds so sad saying it out loud. I only talk to my family when I have nothing else to do. But no, I if you're watching this for the first time, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the past couple episodes I have been talking about reaching out to my family again, like specifically my cousins, because the older generation, I'm a bit weary reaching out to. Like, everyone says they're supportive of my decisions with my life, but actions speak louder than words, and there hasn't been the most supportive action, is the best way I'll put it right now. But the younger generation, my cousins that are my age, that I grew up with, I've been reaching out to them. I haven't talked to them since I was like 12, right? So I reached out to them on Instagram, then I got their numbers, and then I called. Um, no, I've been getting the calls, and then I've just been picking up, because phone works both ways, yada yada yada. You know, every toxic parent's favorite line is like, the phone works both ways, but I've never gotten a call from them, right? So, anyways, what do I want to talk about the older people? Let's talk about the fun crowd, okay? My cousins. Oh my gosh, how much I love them, right? It's like we picked up exactly where we left off, because like we don't know each other as people because like we were too young to understand who we were back then, right? We were just kids. I think last like vaguely I saw them when I was like 16 to help them move out, right? But that was like for a day, and I don't know. Memory's fuzzy. All of my memories before 18 are very fuzzy, okay? I have the trifecta of like brain fog, that being like depression, ADHD, and fucking childhood trauma. So everything's kind of fuzzy. But talking to them, it kind of just like I'm trying to snap. Like everything. Oh, you know how that works. It just everything just clicked in place. We just kept talking. We just kept yapping, and it's really nice to actually like get to know them. And I wish I could get to know the older generations in my family, like my aunts, my parent, like especially my parents. I wish I could get to know them, and I wish they would want to get to know me. Another time, another time, another time, another time. Um, so yeah, I got to catch up with them multiple times actually, and what's kind of crazy is Tia is my I was never really close with her. She's an older cousin of mine. She moved to San Diego and then graduated there and then moved back to Pennsylvania, and she's actually currently at my childhood home. Okay, so we've had this house in our family for like 20, 30 years at this point. So like I don't know exactly like who owned the property at the time, but like we would just rent it from each other, you know? So like I was there for like 4 years, and then my cousins Alex and Tia lived there for however many years, and then my other cousin Melina and her family lived there for however many years, and I don't know exactly where things went, but yeah, that house has been in our family for so long, and she's moved back to Pennsylvania, Tia, and she's currently going through all of our the family belongings that are still there, right? Because there's a little drama going on right now. Okay, someone outside the family currently owns it. I mean, technically in the family, but like that guy's not my family. Okay, so like um let's just say someone outside the family owns our family home, and someone in our family didn't want to put any their name on any paperwork, so it kind of looks strange. It looks weird, and it's okay. I don't live there. I'm never plan on living there. It's just strange. But yeah. But as she was going through all of our old family stuff, I was taken so aback. Like nostalgia just took over. So we had this like giant what is it called? Is it like a CRT TV? What are those giant I have to look this up. It's like those giant TVs that we had in the basement. Giant TV old called. Am I the only one that uses Google like that? I just like describe a rear projection TV, a CRT TV. I don't know exactly what I had. Oh shit, no, I see a picture. I had a rear projection television. Okay. That shit was huge. And we hooked up our Xbox original to that. We hooked up our PlayStation 2 to that. And then further down the line, we got a PlayStation 3 hooked up onto that. And it was so. The TV's not there anymore. The only thing that is still there from when I lived there over 20 years ago is this it's kind of like a playmat, squishy, malleable. And when I was there, I had a calling myself out a little bit for being tism touched, but I had a train set that would it would the entire basement was a train set at one point. Okay, I had a train phase. Okay, I think everyone has gone through a train phase, and if you haven't, you're lying. Okay, so I was just taken aback. We were just talking about our childhoods, and I think it's really funny because, at least to me and my nuclear family, is that the term? Like my siblings and my parents. Is that? I'm not gonna Google that. I don't care about that. I think that's what it is. Nuclear family. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it seems like they don't really acknowledge our history, as in like everything that we went through, everything that we went through together, but also what they I don't want to say like what they did to me, but like the parents that my little sister has now are not the same parents that I had growing up. And that's okay. I'm super happy, super grateful that my little sister's growing up in a much better environment. I can go deep I can dig so much deeper into this, right? The rabbit hole goes infinitely deep. I'll fucking end up in China if I keep digging this. But my little sister is my half sister. Okay, I've never felt the need to preface that, but my little sister's my half sister, and my mom kind of treated me like she didn't like I wasn't hers, like her child as well, because of the association with my biological father. I'll leave that there. Really happy for my little sister. She's kind of got to lock in though. She's my little sister, but she's graduating high school next year, which is crazy to think about. I haven't seen her in in so long, right? I haven't visited Pennsylvania since 2020. It's only, oh my God, I'm just gonna say it's only 6 years, but like that is a third of my little sister's life. I haven't been there for a third of her life, and that is crazy to say out loud, right? I don't even know how I got here. Okay, that's not even on the list, but that's the magic of CatYap. I just go with the flow. Um, but yeah, I think I think I'll definitely keep in touch with my cousins. They're really fun. I will say some of my cousins, they don't seem like they've changed as much, like in a healthy way. Not gonna name names, just in case. This is gonna be public, but I don't think anyone's gonna share with my family. That'd be kind of freaking. That'd be weird. That'd be strange. That'd be odd if any of my family stumbled across this, especially in this attire. I want to keep in touch with them, and slowly build up to talk to other members of my family. Right. I'll leave that there. I feel like I've talked about my family for so many. I'll do a family lore episode at some point, but let's move over to FOMO again. We're going back to FOMO, right? I think the best way for me to describe why it hits me so hard is like I can't I'm not going to say I can't. I really struggle being happy for people without like this feeling of jealousy, because there's always like it's not it's not like the person that I'm mad at. It's my brain. It's my brain mostly, right? Because when I think of everyone going to AX or all these big happy things are happening to, obviously everyone's worked their hardest to their degree. And I'd like to think I'm working as hard as I can too. I don't think I am though. I don't think I can say that truthfully, honestly. If I really wanted, like, I could lock in on like short form content creation, actually finding something that I'm passionate about to do on a day to day basis. I mean, I guess that's what CatYap is at this point. This is something I'm pretty passionate about this. I like sitting here and yapping for a little while. I should have timed myself. Actually, I don't know when I started. What can you do? But I can't help but compare myself to everyone else's situations. Like I wish I was in a place where I could just fly out to see my friends, go to this event, drop a grand. I don't. No one's dropping a grand. Maybe they did. I don't know. But everyone's circumstances are different, and this applies to all the FOMO that I feel and all the jealousy I feel. And I'm learning to move through that. Okay. Um, this weekend definitely not taught me. It definitely showed me how like dependent I am on my friends to like make me feel sane. Obviously, like that, it sounds normal. Like if I lost all my friends, I would be sad. Like boohoo, right? But I think it goes deeper than that. Like, so sorry. I don't know if you could hear that, but I was readjusting the mic. Um, I find it really hard to be happy with all my friends, and like it's. I guess if you're in the same boat and you're okay with that, good for you, happy for you, right? Everyone has their sources of joy and whimsy, but I used to be in a place where I didn't have all these friends. I didn't have all of these connections. I couldn't just sit in VC and force someone to sit with me with like, love unemployed people for being able to just hop in VC whenever I want, by the way. But I want to get back to a point where I'm happy doing things by myself. This is one of the things that I found joy in. And it's not okay, so it's like it's not like I'm doing this just for myself. Okay. Obviously, the whole point of me recording it is to share it. And it's to show people a different side to me, right? But I think it's different when It's kind of like when I want to learn, like when you want to learn an instrument, right? And instead of practicing with your friends, you're like, guys, come to guitar practice with me. Come with me every day to guitar practice so I can learn the guitar. But instead of that, you spend your time alone. You learn guitar on your own, and then you're like, guys, I learned guitar. Listen to this song that I can play. Like that's the difference. Like I'm so bad at analogies, but that's the best way for me to put it. I don't want to. It's not like I'm trying to say like, don't show you guys the process, but it's like I need to grow off screen as I grow on screen. I've only had on screen growth, but I have no character development behind the scenes. To the point where like during the AX weekend, I'm like, what the hell I do? What do I do? Right? That's why I did end up reaching out to my family. I was just like, I guess, right? And I noticed like I was on my phone a lot less, you know? So it's kind of the same idea. I think my wife is like the biggest supporter of this mantra. Like the idea that like nowadays, oh my god, sorry, I heard the ice cream truck. Nowadays, I think more people need to learn to be bored, right? Our fucking phones, like the constant dopamine. I definitely needed that dopamine detox. Is that what it's called? Like taking that break from constant dopamine, constant things jumping out at me, just giving my brain a little break, right? I think I definitely needed that. And I think I will continue taking these breaks as I feel like I need. I think that'll help me in the long run, right? Learning to be bored, learning to just sit with my FOMO, because a lot of my bad habits are just like the way that I process things is not the healthiest, right? Most of the time, I'm just like distracting myself. I don't really face what I'm feeling. Like the FOMO weekend, I was just like finding so many other things to do. And it was only like yesterday that I sat back and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay to just feel this. Everyone's circumstances are different. This is okay for me. So, how do I move forward for this? The next thing on my list is friend swap. Okay? And I want to elaborate a little bit more on that because it does tie into like how I feel about the dopamine detox idea, because obviously I've taken much more gaps between my streams. Okay, so streaming is something that I've always found love for. My Twitch channel. I used to have a YouTube channel as well, way back in the day when I was like screen recording on my freaking tablet and stuff like that. We don't have to talk about that, but I used to do a lot more solo stuff, like solo games, solo queue, League of Legends. As much as of a dark time that was, it was me finding joy by myself I say by myself, but like my chat was there, but like I wasn't forcing someone to sit in VC with me to stream. Okay, I think my biggest motivation or like demotivator, yeah, I think was the idea that like I wouldn't have anyone to sit in VC with me or like sit and talk to while I'm streaming. And I'm like thinking about that now, it's not what I want to do. I want to make stuff, work on stuff by my lonesome sometimes. Sometimes, not every time. Obviously, I love playing video games with my friends, but if I'm sitting there building Legos, I don't necessarily need someone to sit there and like fill in the blanks for me, right? I think that also ties in with the learning to be bored, right? Because I think the more that I learn to be bored, the more my brain gets to think for itself, right? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Like my brain has been kind of like all over the place today. There's some like it takes a weird turn, my list. But yeah, I don't want to force people to just sit in VC with me anymore. So moving forward, at least for streams, content ideas, I want to go back to more solo stuff, like solo playthroughs or just sitting and yapping. I was actually thinking of recording a one of these episodes live, but like I can't really like see chat from here, or I don't know if I would want to acknowledge chat, you know, because I definitely, oh my god, the hair in my mouth again. I'm just gonna tough it out, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Preach, preach. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, practicing to be by myself, practicing being bored, practicing sitting with FOMO. Okay, and I think as I do that, as I learn to find joy in myself, I can really appreciate more the time I spend with my friends because for a long time, my streams have just become from friend slop. To be honest, like the category of video games where it could literally be anything. But you boot it up with your friends, and there's nothing wrong with friend slop. But how many fucking Among Us people are still Among Using out there? It definitely needs to come in phases, come in waves. There needs to be an off switch at some point. And for a long time, I think my streams were just listen to me play video games and yap to my friends and not be myself. Because again, whenever I'm around others, I definitely play up a character. So it's about self discovery, um, self improvement. Fill in the blanks with whatever you want, but I definitely want to take more time solo. And it's I don't want to ever okay if you're listening to this Colon 3 Club, if you're listening to this, it's nothing personal. I still love each and every one of you dearly, okay? Except the new people, because I genuinely don't even know the new people that joined. But that's okay. Okay, hopefully we grow together, right? But it's not, I think it's more going to be a pop in here and there. I don't want to make it my priority to just sit in VC and hope someone comes along, right? I think I can spend my time doing things much more productive. And in my opinion, this has been the most productive thing that I've made in so long, at least content wise. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy with like any of my streams. I think my personality has dulled, as sad as it sounds. Not that again, not blaming my friends for like dulling my personality or anything like that. It's just how my brain works. Anyways, so I'm spending all this time alone, right? What are some things that I like? Okay. Um so at work, I don't okay, nowadays I don't really feel like I have too much real alone time. I live with my partner now and her family. Love my wife. I don't feel like I have like a crazy amount of alone time. Like this is alone time, obviously, using it for CatYap. But the only other time is when I'm working out and at work. Because like at work, I have like I work with someone for most of the day or like part of the day, but then like if it's not busy, I can tell them like, hey, I don't need your help. You can go help other people. So like some days I'm like it's mostly just by myself all day, and it would be nice if I could still. Okay, I will preface this by saying, we used to have the ability to wear our earbuds, at least one earbud in at work. Okay, until somebody got hit by a forklift. lost the ability to walk. So sorry. She's still living. Love her. But ever since that, I feel like I've lost a lot of my alone time because, like, I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. I used to listen to music a lot, but the podcast really, it really hit me, because I'm like, it's just fucking. I'm listening to machinery all day. It's kind of fucking boring. Right? I used to so the podcasts I used to listen to. So I used to listen to The Yard, all of their spin like The Yard D&D. Current events wise, I used to listen to like, is it Philip DeFranco? It's been so long. The news guy, like updates on current events and stuff. Lemonade Stand was also weirdly one of those podcasts that I found enjoyment in. Like, they are very like political, but also like techie yapping. But then like on the entertainment side was like The Yard. Broski Report is something I miss so much because that's also what I brought. Like, I got a lot of there's hair in my throat. Oh my, it's in there. I can't even cough it up anymore. I can't even pull it out. Broski Report really inspired me to make something like this. It's just Brittany Broski on her podcast talking about whatever the fuck she wants, and I think that is the coolest thing, and it brings this level of authenticity and like, what is the word that I'm like, like someone like I've never. It's so genuine. It's just someone sitting in front of a camera and yapping, right? CatYap. This is what inspired me, and this is why I'm yapping, right? Um, so I like a lot of the memorable stuff is literally I remember her talking about like this fucking show that she's watching. So I'm hoping I lean more in that direction because so far the episodes that I've been like putting out, it's just me venting. So far this episode, it's just been me venting. And this is my personal diary basically. So that's okay. But I do want to yap more about like current events, current media, like what is going on in my social circles, right? So let's take this moment and let me assess all the things that I like. Maybe you don't know that I'm into. I think one of the bigger things is comics. Surprisingly, people are like, "What the fuck? You like comic?" Like, I used to be super into comics as a kid. So both DC and Marvel. My stepdad had this crazy huge collection, literally spanned the entire basement, boxes and boxes and boxes of just comics, and that really influenced me as a kid. Obviously, like that was the coolest thing, because like every kid is into superheroes, right? And having like someone so close to you, like an adult figure, also be into that stuff. It was like a dream come true. Except that the household wasn't like the best for me to like express that, but it's always been like deep inside me. It's always been within me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be fucking Spider-Man one day. I'm gonna be fucking Batman, right? So I've loved comics for so long. So earlier, I think it was earlier this year actually, I started my own collection. So I got some Secret Wars. So like the original 2019 Marvel Secret Wars. Was it 2019? I think the original is like way back then, right? Like 1999. But then they had a soft reboot kind of 2019, and then that led to the what is it called? The Ultimates, I think. There was like but there was also like, okay, the thing I hate about comics, it's kind of hard to talk about because like there's two Ultimates series lines like in the Marvel universe, right? So like there's Ultimates earlier, but then there's Ultimates 2025 and Ultimate Spider-Man. So okay, I'll preface this. The Ultimate series was like Marvel basically changing everyone's origin to, oh my, it's so hard to get into. It's so hard to like where's the beginning? Where do I actually start telling you about this? If you know anything about the Ultimates, great. I don't want to get too far into it. Basically, the origin for Peter Parker changed. Okay, this is a version of Peter Parker that has basically gone through life without getting bit by the spider. Okay, so he's like middle aged. Okay, married to Mary Jane Watson, has 2 kids. Okay, and then out of nowhere, ooh, boom, this is going to be my snap from now on. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, out of nowhere, he gets an orb from Tony Stark. Holy shit, Tony Stark. Tony Stark says, Peter Parker, right? You've been chosen because our history was altered, and you were supposed to be Spider-Man, and you never got the chance to be. Okay, you can turn this offer down, or you can correct the timeline and become Spider-Man. Here's the spider, basically, right? And so Peter Parker obviously takes it. Okay, becomes the Spider-Man. His kid, I forgot his kid's name. It's been so long since I actually touched this comic line, but his kid gets the symbiote suit, but it's not like the actual Venom suit. It's like a like nanotech ish thing. But yeah, I fucking love that Spider-Man story. I haven't picked it back up since, but on the DC side, oh my gosh, the Absolute series has been. I don't know if it's still cooking. Also, has been something I haven't been in touch with since like January. I don't know. I've been going. Everything comes in waves with me. But anyways, Absolute Batman, holy my holy grail. Everything in the absolute universe. Again, this was DC's way of just being like, what if everyone's origin was different? Okay, but like not in the way like, oh my gosh, what if Batman was Superman? But like, so this version of Bruce Wayne, okay, Bruce Wayne is like this social worker or the son of a social worker or something. Okay, he's not rich, not famous, no playboy crazy thing, right? He's just a social worker, and he um I don't remember if it who which I think his mom is still alive. I don't remember, but he becomes a vigilante because he sees how corrupt the city is becoming from the ground and not from, the fucking Wayne Mansion, right? So, and all of like his typical villains like Catwoman or Penguin or Killer Croc and like all of his rogues gallery, right? All of his villains are actually like his best friends. And so the story picks up with Pennyworth, his butler, but in this universe he is a like hired mercenary, I think, and he's comes to Gotham because of Batman, because of Batman is showing up. Or wait, no, was it because Batman? Or because Bane? Basically, Batman and Bane were like crazy rivals in this. Okay, Bane's origin not crazy different. I will say like, God, it's so hard to explain comics because like there's so much. Maybe I should just pick them up again. I have all these comics right there, right? But this is just like I want to get back into this stuff again. Okay, sorry, that was a long rant. I want to get back into this stuff again, right? Like I want to nerd out. I really want to get into this media. I think the only person in like my social media, like in my not my following, the people that I follow, right, on social media, it's just been Sidion. She's kind of my goat because she's the only person that I follow that talks about comics. Yeah, I don't really interact with anyone else. I can't think of any at the top of my head. But maybe I should. Maybe this like if it's something that I want to get into. Maybe I'll find more in common with people like this sort of thing, right? But other stuff is like video games, but like everyone knows I like video games because I stream video games, right? Um the podcast, I should just listen to the podcast when I'm working out in reality. Um Other things that like are currently ongoing that I am in touch with right now, The Walking Dead. I'm watching it through for the first time. My wife introduced it to me. We've been watching it on and off. We're back into it, okay? During AX weekend, it was Walking Dead night every night, okay? And I'm kind of pissed with it right now because they okay, spoilers. This is your spoiler warning. Anyways, they fucking killed my goat, Glenn. They killed my fucking goat. And you know what they did? They just moved on. They moved on. Like, okay, The Walking Dead, zombies everywhere. The gang gets to this town. Shenanigans go down. And then they stumble across this giant horde of zombies, and they're trying to redirect it. Right? Glenn has been my favorite character because of Invincible. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I have to say it. So much of the cast from Invincible is from The Walking Dead, and I had no idea that when I first made my wife watch Invincible with me, she was like, "Wait a minute, I know who that is. The entire cast of The Walking Dead is here." I was like, "The more you know." And it turns out, same writer. Anyways, so they go through this. So they go to this town, big horde. They're redirecting it, and Glenn and this motherfucker Nicholas, I think is his name. They get cornered in an alley, and Nicholas puts a gun in his own. He just shoots himself. Okay, he puts a gun in his head. He takes the pussy way out because he's always been a pussy. That was his whole character arc. His whole character arc was that he was a pussy and he ended up dying like a pussy. And you know who else suffered for that? Glenn. Glenn died for it. And then the next episode, I'm like, oh my god, I got to see what happens. And it's the fucking Morgan show. The fucking Morgan show. Morgan is another character that like has been popping up every now and then. And then it turned into the fucking Morgan show. Like, it was a flashback. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I don't want to watch this. Like, after the intro started playing, I looked to my wife. I said, I'm not watching this. And then I turned it off and we went to sleep. Like, I was so fucking pissed. I was so pissed. And I still haven't watched the episode. But, oh my god. Like, Glenn he just dies. It was so anticlimactic. So Nicholas puts a bullet in his head and he falls over. Glenn just falls over with him. Okay, I just spat everywhere because it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off because Nicholas just rolled over. Glenn was like, "Nick, no, no," and then he fell into the horde of zombies and they just eat him. Roll credits. What the fuck? To my goat? To the OG? Holy. Oh my god, that got me heated for a moment. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. Another thing that I have been keeping up with lately, not of my own choosing, but I've been watching a lot of horror movies lately, and it's low key influencing me to like play more horror games. I've been playing Alien. Okay, I've missed out a lot in the earlier days of like video games and movies. Okay, so wife is currently going through like everything with me right now. So like we had when I say everything, I mean like everything. Like we had a Twilight phase. We had like I watched Interstellar for the first time. And that got me into space movies for like a little while, and then Project Hail Mary dropped. I was like, holy shit! It's perfect. It's perfect. What can I say? Anyway, so we've been going through this like horror binge right now. I'm currently playing Alien Isolation. I think that's what it is. And usually I'm like really bad at horror games. I'm still like mechanically I'm bad at this game, okay? But like bad in the way where like I used to just like scream and shit myself and like and then just like start crying, you know? But like I'm actually like playing through this game, you know? And I think it's because I think I'm building up a tolerance to horror. But the latest movie that we watched, Obsession. And I will say, love the movie. It wasn't as scary as everyone put it out to be. It was very like, okay, I say that, but like when I'm watching movies, I'm holding hands with a wife, and I can't tell you how many times like I'm squeezing her hand like with like a vice grip of God. I love this, by the way. Making a fist with the cat paws. This is some energy right here. Anyways, Obsession was a great movie, and I've definitely said a lot of those lines from Wish Nikki, and Wife has also said a lot of those lines, but I'm also seeing so many people online just like misinterpreting it, and I don't want to sound sexist, but men are kind of just fucking stupid, you know? Pretending like, okay, Bear, Baron, that guy, yes, he was the main character. He's also the fucking villain, okay? And that's okay, right? Like, are we understanding like media literacy? Like, like, there was so many opportunities for him in the beginning to just be like a normal fucking person, right? And then threw them all away and takes the one wish Willow. Things start spiraling. Like, he goes to his friend Ian and he's like, literally the first night, he's like, Nikki's actually kind of freaking weird. I think she's going through something. She needs help. And then Ian's like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I think we're gonna fuck her. I think, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then and it just keeps ramping up. It keeps ramping up so worse and worse. Like, she fed him his dead cat, and he's like, you can't do that. And Wish Nikki is a fucking demon. So she's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, it's okay. I guess we'll fuck now. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? This guy is not okay. That's not normal. And then like I'm seeing people are like, you know, Bear didn't do nothing wrong. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Bear shouldn't have. Bear should have fucking no. It was Ian's fault for wishing for $1 billion. No, motherfucker, I would have wished for $1 billion too. I would have too. I won't lie. Like I would like I'm sorry. How long has it been? How long has it been? I think I'm gonna cut it there. I think it's been about 40 oh, so sorry. So sorry. I think it's been 45-ish minutes, right? I don't want these to run too long, but this last 10 minutes is what I want the vibes to be. You know, I don't want to come here to fucking cry all the time. I want to get back into absorbing the media that I want to absorb if it's on my own time. Love that. If there's people that I interact with that are also in that sort of media, love that as well. But this has been CatYap. I guess technically, if this is going okay, I'll just fucking upload this public. Okay, this is gonna be episode one. Holy shit, episode 1. Thank you for watching. Bye everyone. Bye bye. Welcome to CatYap. Oh, this is a light. I forgot to turn this on. I have a new light back there. But anyways, thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Much love. I can't make like a heart with this, but bye bye.